Dennis Quaid discusses the long journey to producing the first major biopic about Ronald Reagan, a historic American president and former Hollywood actor. The project began around 2008 with Mark Joseph championing the script amid limited studio interest, ultimately leading to independent financing to maintain creative control. Quaid was initially hesitant to take the role due to Reagan's iconic stature and public perception, but was drawn in after visiting the Reagan Ranch, a place that gave him a profound sense of Reagan's character and humility. He emphasizes that his portrayal aimed to go beyond mere impersonation, focusing instead on understanding Reagan's inner motivations and psyche. Quaid explores the complexity of Reagan's persona, highlighting the notable inner reserve that Reagan maintained despite his public charm and communication skills. Drawing from biographies and personal accounts, Quaid reflects on Reagan's private nature, which stemmed partly from a difficult childhood and a lifelong need for a personal sanctuary amid public scrutiny. This private reserve was where Reagan found solace, prayer, and reflection. Quaid also draws parallels between Reagan's upbringing with an alcoholic father and his own similar experiences, noting how these early challenges likely shaped Reagan's resilience. The conversation covers Reagan's transformation from a Democrat in his early years to a conservative icon, underscoring his commitment to self-education and political engagement, especially during his GE tours that connected him with American workers. Quaid highlights Reagan's skill in bridging diverse audiences from Hollywood to blue-collar America and his nuanced approach to communism, both tough and idealistic. Reagan's famous Jack Benny moment during the 1980 debate with Walter Mondale is cited as emblematic of his political theater and charm. Quaid praises Reagan's capacity to inspire unity and optimism during a turbulent era in American history, and contrasts it with the current polarized political climate. Quaid shares his political perspective as an independent who has voted both Republican and Democrat, and his eventual support for Donald Trump in the 2020 election. He notes striking similarities between the economic and geopolitical challenges Reagan faced in 1980 and those America is experiencing now, including hostage situations and economic troubles. Quaid expresses frustration with the divisiveness in modern politics and stresses the need for bipartisan dialogue. His decision to support Trump was influenced by his belief in protecting American constitutional principles, particularly regarding the judicial system. The interview delves into how Hollywood's industry has changed dramatically since Quaid's early career. Where studios once produced dozens of movies annually, today only a handful make blockbuster budget tentpole films, narrowing the kinds of stories told and limiting diversity in filmmaking. Quaid observes that Hollywood has largely lost touch with its broader audience, echoing similar cultural shifts from the late 1960s. He predicts a future where independent financing, regional film centers like Atlanta, and alternative production models will play increasingly major roles outside the traditional Los Angeles-centric system. Quaid sees a resurgence of more diverse and relevant storytelling emerging from these changes. The discussion contrasts the anti-hero trend dominant in Hollywood since the 1970s with the portrayal of Reagan as a genuinely heroic and optimistic figure. Quaid notes that Reagan's film is a throwback to older styles of biopics where the subject's virtues are celebrated rather than scrutinized or satirized. The film's focus on Reagan and Nancy's strong relationship further humanizes the president and provides a refreshing narrative of strength and partnership rarely seen in modern cinema. Quaid explains his approach to embodying real people, focusing less on method acting and more on psychological understanding, getting to what makes a person tick rather than simply mimicking externals. He acknowledges the pressures of playing such a well-known figure, but stresses the importance of conveying emotional depth and humanity. Quaid likens acting to his own experience of growth and repetition, stressing that acting is about trusting well-prepared instincts and diving into the scene. He also shares practical insights into managing character continuity across non-chronological filming schedules. Quaid opens up about his struggles with addiction during his early Hollywood years and how it affected his life and work. He describes a pivotal white light experience that motivated him to pursue sobriety through rehab and daily recovery meetings, framing addiction as a spiritual issue that requires more than just physical abstention. Quaid reflects on his religious background, his disillusionment as a teenager, and his later rediscovery of Christianity, which gave him renewed purpose and strength in recovery. Moving away from Los Angeles, Quaid shares his affinity for living in Tennessee, connecting with his Texan roots and the rich local music culture. Guitar and piano have been lifelong passions, and Quaid appreciates how his acting career has opened doors to unique musical experiences, including personal mentorship from legends like Jerry Lee Lewis. He values the slower pace and community found in Tennessee as a positive lifestyle change. Quaid recounts his early days breaking into the industry, including his breakthrough in Breaking Away, which remains a beloved and quintessentially American film in his view. He credits strong mentorship and the chemistry of the cast for its enduring appeal. Quaid speaks candidly about the risks and frequent failures inherent in an acting career, emphasizing resilience and learning from setbacks. He shares his pride in diverse works, from dramas to family films like The Parent Trap, while acknowledging that not every project meets his artistic standards. Quaid expresses enthusiasm for new directions in film that reconnect with audiences, using Reagan as a hopeful example. He stresses the film's entertainment value and its role in reviving appreciation for a proud and optimistic America. Quaid wishes more movies would explore powerful, large-scale American stories that convey faith in the country's ideals and people, helping to restore a sense of shared identity and purpose. Quaid reveals his desire to develop a film about the Lakota leader Crazy Horse, based on oral histories told from the Native American perspective, emphasizing untold stories and cultural authenticity. When asked about his personal top films, he names classics like Lawrence of Arabia, The Godfather trilogy, The Wizard of Oz, and The Notebook, illustrating a range of cinematic styles that have inspired him. Throughout the interview, Quaid underscores the blend of craft, preparation, and instinct needed for acting, seeing it as a constantly evolving skill rather than rigid methodology. He regards acting as both challenging and deeply rewarding, a privilege compared to other kinds of work. Quaid's personal transparency about overcoming obstacles, shifting industry dynamics, and his faith journey provides a candid portrait of a seasoned artist committed to meaningful storytelling.